We're learning more tonight about two of the victims from the Gatlinburg wildfires following an unlikely discovery 4 months after that deadly night. John and Marilyn Tegler had a cabin in Chalet Village for more than 30 years. The couple originally from Canada, but this was their home away from home. John described as his son's hero, Marilyn the quintessential mom. They would celebrate holidays and mark milestones here with family and friends. But those happy memories now stripped away, replaced instead by the horror of one night.
Grandma had made mention that the winds were picking up and it was becoming quite smoky.
Scott is the Teglers' oldest child. He says it was his own daughter who may have had the final conversation with his parents the afternoon of November 28th. Just hours after that phone call, scenes like this started to play out as people scrambled to make their way off the windy mountain roads above Gatlinburg. The last message from John and Marilyn was from their home in Chalet Village, just before 8 o'clock that night.
She said, it's getting smoky here. The sparks are hitting the house. We're packing up the animals and we're leaving.
Scott later learned his parents' car careened off Skyline Drive. They were able to get out of the car and walk several hundred feet, only to be found clutching each other and their dog in the middle of Wiley Oakley Road. It was nearly 3 days later before Scott got the call he feared.
The hardest part is being, from my perspective, is being on the other side of the coin of what I'm usually doing, right? And when he asked me to send about dental records, sending down dental records, that was probably I don't know if I'll ever forget that, because I knew what he was saying. I knew what he was saying.
As a fire chief, Scott says he knows the reality of his parents' final minutes, and it's a nightmare he says he can't stop reliving.
It is a toxic, bad atmosphere. You can't see 2 feet in front of your face.
It's also something he can't accept.
There's 14 people that we know of, in my opinion, should not be dead.
His grief is now turning into anger. And while crews in Chalet Village work tirelessly to try to bring back new life to the area, Scott says he cannot lose focus on all of those who were lost and getting answers for their families.
You start wondering why did you, what was your reasoning for not doing this? And that's where a lot of this comes from. I want to, it's not about money. It's like people are held accountable.
But in the midst of the ashes, 4 months later, an unexpected discovery.
Just a little bit further out here is where the Tegler folks were found. The wallet was found over here.
A utility worker finding a charred, almost unrecognizable wallet just feet from the intersection where Scott's parents were found. Amazingly, the owner's name was still legible. So that worker gave the wallet to his friend Kim Pierce, who then tracked down Scott.
I didn't want to upset him, or, when someone's dealing with grief, I was afraid this might, make it worse on him.
But Scott says he could not be more grateful because this discovery is much more than just a wallet.
That's a piece of my living father, right? I was in his pocket. So frame it. Not frame it. Just so. Anyway, it's it'll be nice to have. The one doesn't replace them, but it's yeah. I can't find the words right now. Sorry.
Pierce and Scott have become friends, and now she has vowed to continue to comb these mountains, looking for his mother's engagement ring as well. In the meantime, she made sure that wallet made its way back home, and we had another chance to talk to Scott after it arrived.
It's there. You can see it. I haven't taken it out of the plastic yet. For a brief moment, it was you had a piece of your family back beside you.
And on that second conversation, Scott obviously so emotional having that wallet in his hand. And as you heard in that story, he says someone should be accountable for the lives lost. And he went on to tell us he is talking to a Knoxville attorney, Sid Gilreath. He says that he plans on being part of a class action lawsuit filed against the federal government. And in the meantime, in case all of you at home were wondering Scott and his sisters say they haven't really decided yet if they will rebuild there in Chalet Village. They've leveled the land, planted grass, and right now they say that that's really all they can do.